Yeah. Yeah, good evening all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes, fine. Thank you. So in the last session, just I was discussing about Python Software Foundation, PSF, a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year 2001 to foster the development of Python. The president is Guido van Rossum, headquarters in Delaware, US. Official website python.org is the official website from where we can download and we can see the documentation for each and every Python release. Python version, the latest version what we are using is 3 version. That the latest version is 3.11. Yes. Python execution modes. 2 modes of execution, interactive mode and batch mode. In interactive mode, statement by statement, we can interact with Python. For every statement, it use response, right? And a batch mode. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDs. Save it by using .py extension and later submit it to Python. What are the various editors? Like Notepad, Edit Plus. Within the Windows environment, we can create a Python file within the Notepad and Edit Plus. And within the Linux environment, we go with VI and Nano editors. And real time, we use IDEs, right, for writing the Python code and executing it. So we use like PyCharm, PyDev, Commodore, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, and VS Code. So for different environments, different IDs are preferred, right? Yes. So we're like developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python application within a editor, right? Within editor. Example like Notepad. Open Notepad and type the following Python code. See, as of now, we didn't discuss anything about Python or Python codings, right? So just we perform some kind of arithmetic operations by taking some two values, right? Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. So I'm taking like x as 10, y as 20. Can perform some arithmetic operations like x plus y, print x minus y, right? X into y and x by y. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? X by y. I'll copy this to a separate notepad file, right? I'll just copy this to a separate notepad. Yes. Within the notepad file. Yes. Save it. File, save. While saving, yes. Save it as sample1.py extension. Yes. You have written the Python code or Python statements, arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Save it as .py extension. All right. Save as sample1.py. And now submit this file. And now submit this file to Python. Submit this file to Python app. Now go to this command prompt, right? At the search panel, type CMD and go to this command prompt. and type Python. Don't say enter. If you say enter, it will go to the interactive mode. And just specify the path where the file is available within the C drive. Python 9 p.m. batch slash sample1.py, right? So the file name, where it is present, the folder name, and the drive. Yes. So file name, the folder name, and the drive name, everything submit right to Python, right? For 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, and 10 by 20. You got the output right here, yes. So the file name, the folder name, right? Yes. The file name, folder name, everything, right? Yes. Control C. Yes. So just write your Python code within the notepad and save it as .py and submit this file to Python as Python and give the path where the file is available. But here, what is your observation? Here, we are writing the code at one place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. But to write and execute at the same place, we are writing the code at one place. Where you are writing? Within the notepad. And executing at the other place, where? Within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. We have IDLE, right? But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? No need of any compilation. Python is just interpretation language. No compilation required. So just write your Python code in a notepad file. So this just normal English statements. They look like normal English statements. Save it as .py extension, and in the command prompt type Python and specify the path, entire path where the file is available. It gives the output. But here, what is your observation? We are writing at one place within the notepad and executing at the other place, right? But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can run and execute. We can write and execute at the same place. We can write and execute at the same place. Writing and executing at the same place. Yeah. So I'll show you now how to open this IDLE and how we can write and execute at the same place. Just I'll take the same code, right? I'll copy the same code, two values, performing arithmetic operations. At the bottom search panel, right? At the bottom search panel, IDLE, you can say. You can see this Python, IDLE, Python 3.11 gets open in this way. If we click it, Python shell gets open in this way, right? Yes. Otherwise, go to your start programs, check your all apps, check where your Python 3.11. The first thing what we see, IDLE, Python shell gets opened. Python shell gets opened, right? So you say here you can work with interactive mode, any valid Python statements. You can type and you can check, you can interact statement by statement. But I want to work with batch mode. File, new file. Open this. Here itself we can write the code. Here itself we can run. Run option is there here, right? So before you run, try to save it. Compulsory we need to save the file. Sample to dot. Dot. Ten plus 20. 10 minus 20. 10 into 20. 10 by 20. Once again, check this code, right? You can write your code. Is my voice clear to all? Can anyone please confirm once?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, when you are trying to save the files at that time, yes, you will get some break. So here, writing the code within this and run it, execute run module, you can get 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Okay. So in the search, whenever we install Python, in the search, type IDLE and say enter, right? Python shell gets open in this way. Say file, new file. Write your code and run your code here. Run module. That's it. So later I'll show you, once we are done with a little bit of technical content, I'll show you how to run, how to write your Python code and how to execute, how to perform all those operations, right? Using IDE. Now, coming to this, entering into the technicals, basic technicals of Python, right? Yes. Python data types and variables. Python data types and variables. Every organization, use case has got data and operations. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. For example, if you take the example of a bank, bank has got data and operations. Data means customer name, account number, its address, its balance, its branch. That all represents customer data. They represented using data types or variables. Operations means using functions like deposit operation, withdraw operation, transfer operation. So data represented using data types or variables, operations using functions. You observe C, C++, Java. Observe here, C or C++ or Java. Comparison with Python. Python supports dynamic data types. It supports dynamic data types. In other programming language like C, C++, or Java, if you want to define a variable like x as 10, compulsory you need to say int x, integer x equal to 10. If you want something in decimal float value, we need to say float y. We want to say z equal to some string. So we need to say, without this data type defining, this variable x, y, and z can't be created. Compulsory, we need to define this data types, right? But in Python, No need to define that. Directly we can say x as 10, y as 4.5, z as hello. What kind of variable x is here? Means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as integer type. Here, based on the data type defining, you are saying it as float. Based on the data type defining, you are saying it as string. Okay. Rohit Sharaf, right? Why we cannot use PyCharm or Jupyter Notebook? Yes. Yes. So just after discussing this taking some basics of Python, I will show you first on PyCharm, next on this Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, VS Code, all these IDs. For every 2 weeks, one ID I'll be showing you, right? Yes. Okay. So here, what kind of variable x is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as x integer. Here, based on the data type, you are saying it as float. Based on this data type, you are saying it as string type. But here in Python, what kind of variable x is means what value you have assigned to it. If you're assigning an integer variable, integer, its type is integer type. If you're assigning an integer value, integer variable is creating. If you're assigning float value to y, float variable is getting created. In Python, there is a function called type function. Type of x is integer type. Why it is integer? Because you assigned a integer value. Type of y, float. Why it is float? Because you assigned a float value. Type of z is what? String type. Why it is string type? You have assigned a string value, right? You have assigned a string value to it. Yes. So what values? So based upon the values you are assigning, the variables are created dynamically during runtime. So to just elongate this topic, right, to make you understand much better, I'll be discussing 4 cases. Understand these 4 cases. Case 1, defining a variable. Whenever you say x equal to 10, understand here, whenever you say x equal to 10, internally one object gets created with value 10. It is going to occupy some memory location address. That address is given to x. Understand here what x is storing. What x is storing here. Don't say x is storing 10. Don't say x is storing 10. X stores the address. So here 3 things need to understand. Print x. Whenever I say print x, right, it should go to this address. Print x means it goes to this address and prints whatever content present at that address. X equal to 10 means yes. Print x means prints the content at that address. Prints the content at that address. Prints means it goes to this, it goes to this address and prints the content, whatever content at that address. What is that? 10. If I want to print, yes, I'm coming to that. Yes, Kumar. So print x means prints, it goes to this address and prints the content. But if you want to print the address in Python, we have got a function id function id of x. So prints the address of X. You want to prints the address of X. What is that address? 103070. Where exactly it is stored, right? Yes. And one more type. If you want to know the type of the variable, type of X, what type? As you have assigned an integer value, integer type. Prints the data type of X. Prints the data type of X. What is the data type of X? Integer type, right? Yes. Print X prints the content. Print ID of X prints the address. Type of X prints the data type. Case 1, right? If you got any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask through voice, or you can enter your query in the chat. Now, from here on, I want the sessions to be interactive. Everyone, you can unmute yourself and you can just give your responses, right? What is the output for the case 2?
Sir, for each line, do we need to end it with a colon or semicolon?
No. In other programming language, every statement terminates by semicolon. But here in Python, no such, nothing, no semicolons, nothing, no.
Okay, thanks.
So here, X value is 10, Y is 20, two variables. Try to answer how many objects gets created here. X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. For 10, one object, one address. That address given to X. For Y equal to 20, one more object with some address. That address is given to Y. So now try to answer that. Everyone, give your responses. Print X means what is the X value?
10.
10. It goes to this address and prints whatever content at that address. Now try to say there is a function to print the address ID of X. What is the address of X?
103070.
103070. Type of X means data type of X. As you was an integer value.
Integer.
Integer type, right? Yes. Fine. Now print Y. What is that Y value? Yes.
20.
Goes to its address and prints the content of it. What is it? Yes.
20.
20. Address of Y. Address means where exactly it is stored. That address it is going to print, right? Print type of Y. Plot. Type of Y is integer type. You assigned a integer value, right? To Y. So it is integer type. See here, like two different variables XY with the two different values 10, 20. Two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Two different variables, two different values, two different objects, the two different addresses. How is 20.00 represented means float time. If it's anything in decimal, right? If you got something float like 0.00, it's float time. That is case 2, right? I'll show you all these 4 cases practically, right? Later after this.
So, sir, when you say address, like, is it a memory address or what address is it?
Where exactly that object is stored. That physical memory location address.
Okay.
Observe this case 3 now. Now, 20.00 is not float. 1 second. If you want to, it's better as a learner, you can go with interactive mode, right? So X equal to 20.00, right? Yes. Type of X, you say what type it says? Yes, float type. What type it is? Float. Understood now? float time. Case 2 observe, right? Observe 1 second before we go with case 3. Observe this case 2 once. X and Y are two variables, X with value 10, Y with value 20. For 10, one object with one address, 20 object, one object with some address. Print X means 10. Content. ID of X means address, where exactly it is stored, that address. Type means integer. Print Y means what? 20. Address means this. Type is what? What value you assign? Integer, right? Now observe this case 3, right? People from non-programming or zero programming, you can make notes parallelly, right? Make your own points. X values, observe this, X value is 10. Y is 10. How many objects is created here? Everyone, try to give a responses. Yes.
2 objects, sir.
Everyone.
One object.
How many objects?
One.
2 or 1?
So 2 objects.
2 objects, sir.
Observe carefully here.
So
Only one object gets created. Observe here, only one object. One object with some address. That address is given to X. Before creating object for Y, before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10 is already available. If already available, the same address will be given. Means if X value is 10, Y value is 10, Z value is 10. Don't think three objects with value 10 gets created. Only one object, its address is given to X, Y, and Z. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Only one object with value 10, its address is given to X, Y, and Z. Yes. X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content at 10, they are sharing the same address one. Say like print X, print Y, or print Z. They are printing the same thing 10, right? Address. Yes. In the case, yes, Srinivas Rao, right? I'll come back to your query, right? In the next example. X content, Y content, all the contents are same, address is also same. Print address of X, address of Y, address of Z. Same 103070. All X, Y, and Z. They are pointing to the same object in the address. That's fine. I'll come back to this case 3. But before that, see, observe this case 4. Any query in case 3 anywhere? Case 4 you observe. Here, X value is 10 and X only, not Y. X is 20. How many objects will be created here? For 10, one object with some address.
2 objects.
For 20, one more object. If first I value X equal to 10 and after few line I create a new X value 20. That is what case 4, right? Gurupal. That is case 3. Case 4, that what I am discussing. First line X value 10. After some time in next line X value 20. One more object 20 is created. So whatever query you asked is nothing but case 4. So first line x value 10, in the next line x value 20. Two objects created. Print x means what is the x value it prints? Whether it will print a 10 or 20 or
20.
4. What is your answer?
20.
Always the latest value, right? Your salary last year 50,000. Your salary this year 80,000. Print salary means the current salary will be printed, right? Yes. Print x means it prints the latest value 20. Address of x 104080. Yes. Nazir, answer any query. Here, observe. Yes, you can print x comma y comma z. Yes, Ravi Kumar. Yes, we can print x comma y comma z within a single print. So here print x means always it is printing 20, right? Is there any possibility of printing this old x value? Is there any chance of printing that old x value? If a second time also, if I print x, it prints 20. Third time also it prints 20. So to know what happened to the previous object, 10, whether it is available or not available, it got removed. So to know what happened to it, you need to know about a small concept called garbage collector. So it's too early to discuss about that garbage collector. So just I'll give you overview as of now to know what happens to the previous object. But later in our course, we discuss in brief with multiple examples. So to make you understand about this garbage collector, go back to this case 3. Garbage collector, understand this. This garbage collector removes unused or unreferred it removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Gurupal. Removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. What do you mean by garbage collector? Removing unused or unreferred objects from the memory. What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? Objects whose reference count. Objects whose reference count becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, we call them as unused or unreferred objects. Then immediately these objects gets removed. Immediately these objects gets removed from the memory. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately these objects gets removed from the memory by the garbage collector. By the garbage collector, right?
So can we write this notepad or somewhere? Is it already there?
Yes. Objects whose reference count. See, this thing I'll be discussing once again, right? Garbage collector during our course, but just I understand this. with multiple examples later. This garbage collector concept comes, right? I'll be discussing in brief. So as of now, garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. Means objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately this object gets removed from the memory by the garbage collector automatically. You may ask, what do you mean by reference count and how it becomes 0? What do you mean by reference count? Number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables pointing to an object, or number of variables storing address of an object. How many variables are storing the address of an object, or number of variables pointing to an. To make you understand about this garbage collector, observe here, see this diagram. Now, this is the object. How many variables are pointing? X is pointing to this, Y is pointing to this, Z is pointing to this. What is the reference count?
So it's 3 reference count.
3, right? Means how many number of variables pointing to an object will give the reference count. Here 3 variables are pointing, so reference count to 3. Now, whenever object reference count becomes 0, then immediately that object gets removed. Now, how the reference count becomes 0 for this? So now X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Slowly, I am modifying the Y value to 20. Means a new object to 20 gets created with some address. That address is stored by Y. That address is stored by Y. Now Y is pointing to the new object. Y is not pointing to this. Y is not pointing to this. Y is pointing to the new object. Now, what is the reference count of this object 10?
So now we'll have 2, X and Z.
Reference count 2 is, reference count is 2. Everyone try to give a responses. Reference count is 2 because X and Z only pointing. Y is made to point to the new object. Slowly, you are modifying the Z value also to 30. So a new object 30 getting created with some new address 1050. That address is given to Z. Z is pointed to the new object. Now Z is not pointing to this old object. What is the reference count now?
1, sir.
Means only X is pointing now. Previously X, Y, Z 3 were pointing. Now only X is pointing. That Y and Z are pointing to the new objects. Slowly I modified the X value also to 50. A new object 50 got created with some address. That address is given to X. Now X is pointing to the new object. X is not pointing to this. What is the reference count now?
0.
0, right? So whenever any object reference count becomes 0, any object's reference count becomes 0, immediately that object gets removed from the memory by garbage. Immediately this object gets removed by the garbage collector. Understood, right? What is garbage collector? Means whenever reference count is 0, means no variable is referring it. Unused, unreferred. Previously 3 variables were referring it. 3 variables were using its address. Now no variables are using that. See, this object 10, I'm talking about this object 10. Object 10, initially the reference count was 3. 3 variables were pointed. Slowly, if Y modified to 20, Y started pointing to the new object. Reference count became 2. Again, Z also modified. Z is pointed to the new object. Slowly Z also pointing to the new object. Okay.
So, sir, is there a way like we can count the like reference variables, reference count? Is there a function that we can pull that value?
No.
Okay.
There is a keyword like del is available. Later I discuss about it. Del keyword is available.
Okay.
It's going to decrease the reference count. Understood everyone? Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred. When is an object unused or unreferred means when it reference count becomes 0. How it reference count becomes 0 means keep modifying. Reference count nothing but how many variables are pointing to an object. The 3 variables were pointing, so reference count was 3. Now with this discussion, right, we'll go back. How do we check total objects? So here, what are the what were the business scenarios where we have 3 variables represented by one object? 3 variables means 3 variables pointing to the same. 3 variables are pointing to the same means, for example, a employee is there. Employee Ajay. Ajay's salary equal to 50,000. Rahul's salary 70,000. And Amar's salary 50,000. 50,000 means for these two, only one object 50,000 will be created. One address will be in one address location. And for this Rahul's salary, right, 70,000, one object will be created. But even if Rahul's salary also 50,000, right, all will be pointing to the same object. 3 objects won't be created for. Yes, X, Y, Z equal to 10 means for X, Y, and Z only 10. Yes. Fine. Now, based on this understanding, go back to this case 4. Forget about X equal to 20 for a while. X equal to 10. What is the reference count of this object 10? How many
One.
Yeah, only one variable X is pointing, right? So reference count is 1. Slowly X value modified to 20. A new object 20 got created. Now X is pointing to the new object. X is not pointing to the old one. Now what is the reference count of this? X is not pointing to this. Reference count is
0.
0. Reference count 0 means immediately this object got removed. Just I was asking you a query, right? What happens to the previous object? It gets removed. Only this 20 is available. Just I'll take 2 minutes in showing you the practical part of all these core cases, right? So whenever you install Python, it's just in the search type IDLE and click this IDLE, right? Python 3.11. Python shell gets opened. File, new file. So in Python, always the comment starts with hash symbol. Comment means not executable. Case 1, defining a variable, right? X equal to 10. I want to print its content 10. Print X prints its content. Print ID of X, the address where exactly it is stored. Type of X, data type, right? Yes. save it. File, save. NPM batch. Yes. One dot py, any name with dot py extension. Run module, right? Check it. Print x prints the content 10. Address of x means where exactly it is stored, that address location. Type of x is integer type. This is case 1. I will copy the same thing. If you want to write another program code, file, new file. Again, you can say and write this other program. Case 2. Defining, see, case 2 is x value 10, y value 20. Defining two different variables. Defining two different variables with the two different values. Defining two different variables with two different values. Two different objects gets created. Define two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created, two different addresses. X is 10, y is 10. I will copy the same for y also. Print x, address of x, type of x. Print y, address of y, type of y. So print x means 10. Print y means 20. Address of x means where exactly this address of y is. Address of x and address of y, is it same or different? Yes. Different, right? Yes. Because the contents are different. Two different now compare. Run module. 10, 20. See the addresses, different addresses. This is case 2. Observe this case 3, right? File, new file. Same thing I'm pasting for case 3. Defining two different variables with same values. With same values. Then only one object gets created. Only one object gets created. And its address is returned. X value is 10, y also 10, right? X is 10, y is 10 means two different variables, x and y, with same values 10 and 10. Only one object gets created and its address is returned to both. No. The name variable, see that variable means whose value varies during the program execution. Even 10 times you can change the value of x during your program execution. In first line x value 10, in third line x value 20, in fifth line x value 30. In 5th line, X value 70. In 10th line, X value 90. No, X value will be what is the latest value, that only it will be considered. Means today, for example, today your weight some 70. After 1 year, it is 73. The weight has changed. It means your age, that weight is modified. Here, first line X value was 10. Later, X value modified to 20. In 7th line, X value modified to some different value. So variable means whose value varies during the program execution. From line to line, it will have different values. So here, address of X and address of Y, is it same or different? Everyone try to give your responses. X, I'll just take 2 more minutes. Address of X and Y, is it same or different? It has to be same, right?
Address will be same, sir.
It has to be same because same values, same content, only one of fine. Now I'll go to this case 4. Yes. Yes. See the output of this run module. 10, 10. The address is same, right? Content is same, address are same, integer types also same.
Excuse me. So in this case, can't we print X comma Y when the value is same? Instead of using multiple parameters like print X and print Y.
So you may ask one query. Just now someone asked one query, right? Yes, I'll come back. But let me complete this case 4. Defining 2 variables with same name. X is 10 and X is 20. X is 10 and X is 20. Defining 2 variables with same name. Defining 2 variables with same name, but with same name, but with different values. But with different values, right? 2 variables with same name, but with different values. Two variables with same name, but with different values. Then 2 different objects gets created. And the previous one gets removed. Removed by the garbage collector. Defining 2 variables with same name, but with different values. Then 2 different objects gets created, and the previous one gets removed. Print X means 10. Sorry, print X means it prints the latest value 20 only. Address of X also 20. Type of X means integer. So someone was asking if the equal to first last year your salary was 50,000. This year your salary was 80,000. You want to access both last year's salary and this year's salary for tax, for income tax, right? I want to access both the previous salary and this salary. Means in such case, don't give the same name. Prev underscore sal. Your previous sal, you get current sal, you give in this way. Don't give the same name. If you give the same name, the latest one only. Now you can access both. Prev sal means 50,000. Current salary means 80,000. In this way, you can define that. Now, one more. Any queries, right, from these 4 cases? Anyone? Understood all these 4 cases?
Yes, sir.
I want the sessions to be more interactive, right? Yes, I want you people to respond, right? Through voice and through chat. So
Yeah.
I got
Sir,
one query. Yes.
in case 3,
Yes.
instead of using print statements multiple times, can't we use like X comma Y? And when we have 2 variables with the same
okay.
value.
So, okay, X comma Y. Yes, you can do it. X comma Y, it can print 10, 20. Otherwise, X comma, address of X comma, type of X, these 3 lines.
Yeah, we can just to understand where we can minimize the statements.
Yes, you
Because
can.
I'm new, overall new. So I just thought to ask
So
whether we can.
even in the first session only, in the single statement, writing the total code, right? You may feel difficult. That's why I was typing different lines. Slowly in the coming statements, you will see, right? Within 2 lines, 3 lines only, all that code you will come. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So here 10 and 10.0. Do you think now we said X is 10, Y is 10, the address of X and Y are the same or different? Everyone.
Same.
Same, sir.
Same, right?
Same.
Okay. If I say 10.0,
It will be different because of floating.
It is a float value.
so before you answer, right, try to answer the type of Y.
Sir, it is float type.
This float type, right?
Float.
Type of X is integer type. Means here integer object created, here float object. 2 different
Two
objects. Right?
different.
So address will be different. 10 and 10.0 are not same, right? Yes. Run module, right? Yes. Okay. Fine. Hope you understood. So how to define a variable, what happens internally, how to print its content, how to print the address, how to print the type, 4 cases, defining variables and data types, right? More discussion of this data types in tomorrow session, right? So tomorrow also you can attend the session same time using the same link, right? Only for tomorrow, right? Next this Saturday also you will have class only, right? Saturdays generally you won't have class, but for this as a continuity, not to lose the continuation, Saturday a class, you'll have a class, but tomorrow you can attend the session, but after tomorrow session, the link is going to change. You will be getting a separate link. You will get a new link, right? So if you got enrolled, if you got done with your payment process, right, you will be getting a link to your mail IDs. Don't forget to share your. Yes, please be in mute. Okay. So tomorrow you can attend the session, same time, same link, to see more discussion on these data types and other things, right? So later tomorrow, from Saturday onwards, the link you will get a new link. Okay, and WhatsApp group is going to get created, and from Saturday onwards, daily you will be getting the videos to your Google Drive, and notes also you'll be getting right to your mail IDs. And
Saturday same time, sir.
Saturday same time.
Sir, is Python like case sensitive? So suppose if you type capital X when here.
Yes, Python is case sensitive. If you are taking capital X, it gives error.
Okay.
When course will start means Gurupal. Course already started, it continues from here. When course will start means already this won't be repeated, whatever I discussed in today's session again. It continues from here on, right? Yes. Yes. Yes, web technology classes also, right? So web development like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. So I said only Python core and advanced, right? We'll be spending a lot of time, 2 months to 2.5 months, nearly 70 hours, 70 to 75 hours. And later, like web development like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and framework of Python, Django framework for creating projects, applications, right? nearly 15 to 20 applications creations I'll be showing you. I said last 3 years group all right. How can I get the last 3 videos means you can see in the chart panel, right? You can see in the chart course content, videos links, the payment details is provided. Can you see the payment and payment process and the procedure? And you can see the demo video 1, demo video 2, demo video 3. Can you see everyone? Are you able to see that demo video 1 link, demo video 2 link, demo video 3 link? And the course content links are given. And web development, total full stack, Python full stack web development, that link is given. Video links are given. The payment process and procedures are given. The contact details of the office online team. If you got any queries that are given, right? You can contact them. Same thing, right? So, yes.
Yes, my question is, what is mean by advanced Python means?
Hmm?
My question is, what is mean by advanced Python?
Python, in this only, there is a
Advanced Python means,
so Python means only, there is only one Python, right? But basic Python, advanced Python, there's only Python is a language. So in that basic Python, advanced concepts means this advanced Python. So you'll be learning about different types of modules. See, Python, basic Python, advanced Python, and the application-oriented models I'll be discussing, right? For nearly 70 to 75 hours, right? 2 to 2.5 months it takes. Plus among from these people who go for full stack, for them I said web development, before you go with web development sessions like HTML in brief, CSS in brief, JavaScript in brief, Bootstrap in brief, plus Django framework of Python, Django framework for projects and applications creations, nearly 15 to 20 applications creations plus project. So for all this, if you go separately, the fees is 7,000. For this separately, 5,000. Only for Python, it is 5,000 the fee. And for this web development, the Django framework and project, for all this, the fees is 7K. But at a single, if you take as a package, total as a package, full stack web development package, full stack package, just it will be 12K actually, but take as a package, you can just pay 10K. But if you're taking now 5K, if you're paying Python later, this take like 7K to be right. So that's what you can see the course content, other things, right? Any other queries? Okay. So if you're done with the queries, right? Yes, I said clear notes you will be getting. You will be getting the session videos.
The ID installation is already covered or?
No, not covered.
Okay. Okay. I joined it late actually today.
So I'll be showing you, right? Every 10 days, one idea I'll be showing you.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
How to work with. So tomorrow, if you go to any environment, you can work with all these ideas, right? How to download them step by step, how to install them, and how to write the code, how to execute the code, right? So I want the sessions to be more interactive, right? Today, okay, some of them were responding, but I want everyone to respond, the sessions to be more live. Okay. If any query you can ask, then no need to wait until end of the session, right? You can ask. Even a WhatsApp group is going to get created during practice. If you get any error, immediately take the snap of it and you can post in the group. Anybody can answer, I'll be answering it, right? So I'm stopping for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time, using the same link. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.